Now, folks, I'm going to try and do my very best to reduce and have my videos shorter and get the message across. But the scale of destruction of the Irish government is such that I can't, there's no end to the amount of videos. So I'm sorry about that, but I will ask you to bear with me on this. Now, I've dealt with this thing about JP Vance and his letter to the Irish ambassador, and I want to read an article that was in the paper here. Now, there's two countries he compares Ireland to, and one is Myanmar. Myanmar, I think that's the way you pronounce it. It's just further over than India. It's near Thailand, and its population is 88% Buddhist, 6.32% Christian, and 4.3% Islam. And apparently, there's apparently there's accusations of the Muslims not getting a fair deal. Now, Iran is an Islamic state republic, fully Islamic, okay, and it's not proper democracy. I mean, you can't talk against the state. They have the equivalent of our hate speech law already in for years and years. So Russia, to an extent, has hate speech laws, but they don't publish it. They just come and take you away. Now, so this is the Daily Mail on Friday, the 19th of July. Now, this is a little before this, the last one I read out. Donald Trump's running mate, JP Vance, compared Ireland to Russia, China, Myanmar, and Iran. Russia, China, Myanmar, and Iran. So he knows his geography, this fella. Over planned hate speech laws. In a letter to the US ambassador, the US senator who has been named as the vice presidential nominee to run the Republican ticket alongside Trump, said the proposed legislation would chill important public debate. That's no doubt, that's what it's intended to do, to stop important public debate. In a letter to the Irish ambassador to the US, Geraldine Byrne-Nasson. So the Irish ambassador to the US appears to be Geraldine Byrne-Nasson, N-A-S-O-N, in December. Seen by the Mail, Mr. Vance said, the United States routinely condemns similar censorous conduct from China, Myanmar, and Iran. He doesn't mention Russia the second time, but it's in the top that he does. So they're continually, in America you can say your piece, you can speak your mind. And now Ireland is in the same bracket. The first term US Senator was propelled to new heights after a selection as running mate for Mr. Trump. The 39-year-old Marine veteran, this man has fought for us, being part of the military, was formerly a staunch opponent of Mr. Trump, even comparing him to Hitler, and said he did not vote for him in 2016. I've seen him at the rally in hometown in Ohio, and he said he was so believed the media reports about Trump that he turned against him. And it's only when he went to look into it and got more time that he realised it was all fake news. And don't forget, Trump only came down the stairs in about May 2016. So there wasn't that much time to find out the truth. Same as Mr. Vance, it takes a while to know who's who. I never heard of him until a month ago, So, in a letter to the Irish ambassador to the US, no, sorry, I missed it there now. The Ohio native, author of a memoir, Hillbilly Elegy, is known for his conservative views against abortion. I mean, why are we aborting babies in Ireland? Don't we need our people? I don't know. I don't like it. I think it's terrible. I mean, there really are slaughterhouses, aren't there? Really, that's what it is. And same-sex marriage, and opposes America's military in the Ukraine. Well, I won't condemn about the same-sex marriage because we thought we were doing right. We believed the lefties, and now we realise that that was only the thin end of the wedge. Mr. Vance's criticism of the legislation from Justice Minister Helen McEntee, imagine the Vice President talking to another woman, Helen McEntee, came in response to a speech in the Senate by Green Party Senator Pauline O'Reilly, when she said, one cannot do and say whatever one likes in our society. So there you have it in one go. You have to shut up your mouth and do what the Green Party says. To repeat that again, you cannot do and say whatever you like in our society. And I've been doing that all my life. Whoever suffered from people speaking their mind. which is a society governed by laws. There were no laws on this crap, this nonsense, until these Greens started making it. If a person's views on other people's identities make their lives unsafe, where is the unsafe? It looks like Irish lives. What happened to the poor teacher that was killed? What happened to the attempted murder of a woman and 3 kids coming from school in Dublin? Where is the unsafe? Oh, what's this unsafe? Who's unsafe? Right? These people come from Timbuktu. They have their own country there and votes in it. And most of them voted for stupid, corrupt politicians, and they should take the consequences. Why are they coming over here to export it to here? And insecure, and cause them such deep discomfort that they cannot live in peace. Well, if they have to be stopped coming in for a start, that's too bad. Our job as legislators is to restrict those freedoms for the common good. So there's the job of the legislator, according to Pauline O'Reilly. We have to restrict the Irish people freedom so we can push a woke, cultured Marxist ideology on the country. In response on X, Senator Vance said, if this were happening in Russia or China or many other nations, we would call it totalitarianism and threaten economic sanctions. He told the US ambassador in his letter, I am ashamed. No, sorry, I got that wrong now, folks. Sorry. I am alarmed that one of our closest friends, a democracy dedicated to upholding cherished freedoms, should undertake such legislation. I'll read that again. I am alarmed that one of our closest friends in a democracy dedicated to upholding cherished freedoms, should undertake such legislation. He is accompanied in his criticism by X, formerly Twitter, owner Elon Musk, who called the proposed legislation a massive attack on the freedom of expression. And if Mr. Musk is reading this, I'm banned from Twitter for over 3 or 4 years for criticising Greta Thunberg, and I'm not apologising, full stop. The controversial hate speech legislation proposed by Mrs. McEntee has been stalled in the Senate for a year and will not return for debate in the Oireachtas until the autumn. So it's coming back in September. It also is an indication there'll be no election, I'd say. There'll be no election till next year. In his letter to the ambassador, Mr. Vance said it could undermine Ireland's commitment to universally prized freedoms. So we're no longer seen as a country of freedom. The men of 1916 were put in Kilmainham jail up against the wall and shot dead to get our freedom. And this is what the Vice President of America, and they had big connections that time with America, this is what he thinks of us now. Including the freedom of speech. He said the bill is full of vague prohibitions. See, he can read. It is full of vague prohibitions. They don't know what it's meant to mean. They're meant to throw it over to the courts and let them decide. That would chill important public debate if they were to become law. Given that President De Valera himself was imprisoned for sedition in 1918, I urge your government to consider the impact of the legislation on Ireland's proud tradition of free speech. Mr. Vance said, we also asked if the bill would be applied to foreign visitors. He also asked, would the bill be applied to foreign visitors? So essentially what it's saying, if an American citizen comes over to Ireland and sees this and criticises it, will it be applied to him? And the answer is it will. The law of Ireland applies in Ireland. If you drive drunk in Ireland, right, you mightn't be prosecuted because of the difficulty getting you back, but you're subject to the law. It's where it happens. And the law applies to Irish citizens abroad. So if a person in New York comes out and criticises it, as an Irish citizen, we'll have to read the law. They can be held accountable when they come back. They can be arrested here. So there it is. Now, sorry, folks, for redoing it twice. Sorry for giving it twice. But this is the appointment of J.D. Vance has made it necessary to do that. And I've kept the video to 9 minutes. Please export this to the people you meet. Please let them know about it. The Vice President of America, with whom Donald Trump probably agrees, has said Ireland is in the same bracket as Russia, Myanmar, which persecutes Muslims, I think, Iran and Iran as well. Now, there's another point to make on this. Now, here is a point that was made to me by a friend, And under this, the question Vance put, will Americans and will other people be prosecuted for saying this when they come in Ireland to holiday? And that will mean it'll be a dangerous place to come, because you come down to see the Cliffs of Moher, you go in and have a drink and you say something again in this and you're arrested. And that is the situation. But there is also the thing that Muslims may be prosecuted, because among the protected types are homosexuals and young children and transvestites and all of this. And Muslims objected to the indoctrination of their children. They don't want the teacher in the school privately telling the boy or girl to be a man or a woman or choose their gender without the parents knowing. And they had protests in England about that. And the Muslim Council of Ireland, with its mosque in Dublin, has protested about this and said they don't want the indoctrination of their kids. They want their kids left alone. They don't want their sons dressing up as drag queens with fishnet tights and all of that. Now, if their kids get to be 18, that's up to them. I'm not making an issue of that, but they certainly don't want them being groomed at schools. And that's the Muslims. So you see the utter hypocrisy of this. This law, the hate speech law, and excuse me for my dirty fingers, I'm doing a mechanical job at the moment. This law is designed to protect certain alternative lifestyles to do with homosexuality. And it's also designed to protect people of other religious groups like Muslims. And the Muslims object to one part of the law. And Paddy, the Irishman, the Christian, he can go to hell. So how are they going to deal with that conflict? How is the Muslim man living here who comes out and says, I don't want this transgender stuff, I don't want it, and then they prosecute him? They say that's against the minority of the sexual orientation. So how are they going to deal with that? Now, Trump, this is something I was also told, and I'd never put out on here, I can't stand over. He has said he'll cut funding to schools that start this. The craving of the present Fianna Fáil TDs, the present Fianna Fáil senators, the Fine Gael senators and the Fianna Fáil TDs and councillors, most of them, but all of the TDs and Sinn Féin crave this. They have a craving for this. This mass migration is an unbelievable beast. It's the most satanic and evil beast you could imagine. Nobody 50 years ago would ever believe this is the place we would be at. And the reason I did it twice, folks, is it's in two papers. So now I hope I've brought this to your opinion. I hope you comment sensibly underneath. And now that I've got all that done, I think it's high time I give you a little time off, or maybe make a video on something non-political, if you don't mind. Give you a wee break and give people time now to catch up with my videos there. We'll give you a wee break because the scale of this is so terrible that it is taking up a lot of people's times. I make the time making the video and you make the time viewing it. See, this is what's happening. Right, folks, we'll let you go at that. I'll just finish by saying I have a very good knowledge of the Irish prosecution system and the Director of Public Prosecution, and they have a wide latitude in deciding who to prosecute. And it's quite obvious that the parties that's putting up this know that it'll be the Christian Irish who will be hit. They know that DPP will probably not prosecute Muslims or other religion is there, the Buddhists or any of them. They know they'll prosecute the Irish alone. They can't make a law which is designed to prosecute one sector of the community like Christians, but they're going to do it because they have it in such a way that there'll be no prosecution against anyone except the Irish Christian or the British Christian. And now we see Mr. Vance worried about the American Christians coming to Ireland, to their home of their ancestors, where there was a time it was a criminal offence to criticise the British, and now we can't express our thoughts and actions. Good luck, folks. We'll see you back for something else. Thumbs up or a thumbs down. It is the most alarming situation I ever come across. Bye. Thank you very much.